A warm welcome to all of you. Mental health is a state of emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. Honorable Correspondent Subramaniam Sir, beloved Director Padma Ma'am, Executive Director Annie Ma'am, Principal Sunita Krishnan Ma'am, Vice Principal Sureka Ma'am, teachers, and all my dear students, a warm welcome to you. I would like to extend a warm welcome to the guest of honor, Dr. Anisha Mahendrakar, an international speaker, trainer, applied psychologist, hypnotherapist, and Reiki healer. She is a curator for many workshops and has trained many people in different fields. She was awarded doctorate by UNO, United Nations Organization, Geneva, for applied psychology and hypnotherapy. She is a recipient of Young Achievers Award 2018. We have the honor of having the chairman of Basil Mind, Mr. Subbiram Reddy, psychiatrist at Apollo Hospital, in addition of being the head of the enterprising company like Basil Mind. I would like to extend a gracious welcome to the team of Basil Mind, Ms. Lenin Tejashwini, Ms. Maria Milani, and Mr. Ram Prudvi Teja, counseling psychologist of Basil Mind team.
I know you're used to being in school for a large part of your life now. And normally how it works in classes, we're all happily sitting like this, obediently, teacher is teaching, we are going to keep quiet, isn't it? So we are going to learn to forget that for this 1 hour only. Okay? So only for this 1 hour, we are going to change the rules a little bit. Yes? So what we are going to do is, I'm not going to sit here and give you a long lecture on anything. I will be asking you questions. I will be asking you to participate with me. And the more you participate, the more lively you are, you will get small gifts as well, just to encourage you and encourage me. Yeah. So we are going to keep this very lively. We are going to keep this as a discussion. So there is no right or wrong answer. I know in examinations there is a right answer and a wrong answer, but over here we don't have right and wrong answer. Whatever comes in your mind, I want you to be able to tell me that. So you think psychologist is a person who says, come on, you can do it. Is that what it is? Okay, that is one tiny bit of what we do. There is so much more, right? So on a day-to-day basis, right? So you go through different situations. You meet different people. The same friend who's very nice to you today suddenly will not talk to you after 3 days. What happens to your mind? What is running in your head? Teacher is teaching maths problems, but something else is running here, isn't it? Yeah. So when we go through different situations, some situations we wouldn't have expected to happen. Okay. So it gives us a very different feeling. It gives us a very different kind of emotions. Not everything can be understood with logic, isn't it? So you're not a machine, you're a human being. You feel different kind of emotions. And sometimes these emotions, they take a grip of you. You can't be your normal, regular, happy self. And that time when you sometimes ask for advice for elders, those advice might not work all the time, isn't it? Have you tried it out? You would have gone and shared something. They'll give you an advice. You try the advice, it would have backfired. Right? So what to do? Should you stop sharing? No. You share it with the right person. That is where a counselor or a psychologist comes in. What is psychology? Psychology is where you study the human mind. Do we know what biology is? Study the body. Not just the human body, any kind of plants, animals we study. Similarly, the mind has its own structure, it has its own laws, everything. So we understand why you think, what you think, when you think. We don't read your mind. We understand how you feel in different situations. We understand why you feel that way. And when you're not feeling good, we help you come out of it. And that is not motivation, that is called helping. So if somebody is fallen in a ditch, you're going to give your hand, or are you going to motivate them? Come on, you can climb out. What will you do? So a psychologist is the one who gives you a helping hand to get you out of your situation where you're feeling a little bad, sad, whatever. Normal people give you advice from their experience. Okay. And everybody's life experience is not the same. You're all in the same class, same age, different lives. You look different. Your likes are different, isn't it? What works for one person doesn't work for someone else. But if you're asking a psychologist, if you're asking me on a general note, how to deal with anger, first thing you need to pay attention to, it's a normal thing to feel angry. Most of you are asked to control your anger, isn't it? Control your anger. Don't be angry. Honestly, whoever is angry at that moment, you can't control. That is normal human tendency. Feeling your emotions is also normal. That's what makes you human. What is the difference between you and the equipment we have? You're feeling. Equipment doesn't feel. If you're feeling angry, you're feeling jealous, you're feeling irritation, you're feeling sadness, whatever it is normal to feel that way. Stop fighting your emotions. It's not wrong to feel something. The problem is your reaction after that feeling. Control your behavior, not your emotion. It's okay to feel angry. After feeling angry, what do? There's a saying, I don't know if you're aware of it, in English that says, nothing brings two people closer than the joint hatred for the third person. Somebody is your best friend, how? Both of us hate the same person, right? So we do all this. This is not healthy. Do you feel nice after all this? Apparently, after you do something, you're supposed to feel good about it. Only then it's a successful action, isn't it? After a bath, you will feel nice. That means it's a good thing to do. Do it every day. When you blame somebody, when you gossip about someone, do you feel nice? Do you feel tired? We tend to feel a little tired, no? We tend to feel irritated and tired. So all your mechanisms that you're using to deal with anger is not effective because anger is not stopping. Most of us have these rules in our head. I should not get angry for this. I should not get angry on that person. This is controlling your emotions. It's like controlling your pee. Don't do it. Bad. Like how it's bad for the body, this is bad for the mind. Do not control your emotions, but control your action after the emotion. Most of us break things, we yell at people, we say things which we should not be saying. That you control. Don't control what you're feeling. Are you able to understand the difference? So the tip for you to dealing with your anger, first, stop fighting it. Know it's normal. 2, control your action after the anger. Don't control your anger. So what can you do to throw your anger out? So what we're going to do is, from today, fix a routine for yourself. Pick the subject which you don't like. You don't like that subject. Nothing about the subject gets into your head. Pick a subject like that. Make it a point to study that subject at least for 40 minutes every day, whether you understand it or not. You're practicing. See, a human body and the human brain, no? It is called a creature of habit. If you're doing something continuously, it becomes a part of you. How many dancers and musical instrument players in the group? Anybody who's into dancing instruments? So if you ask them how they remember, hands automatically move, legs, body automatically move. How does that happen? Overnight? Practice. So same thing with studies. The point is we don't start studying until tomorrow is the exam. Isn't it? That is why you'll blank out. That is why you'll feel stressed. Because everything has its own capacity. Your brain has its own capacity, how much it can take in at a moment. If I fill in, it will not take in, it will spill out. You are used to taking exams, you're trained to take exams. No need to feel scared. Whether you study at home or you study in school, same person is taking exam, isn't it? Right? So if somebody is pressurizing you, please understand it is their concern. It's not that they are not liking you. You might feel, oh, I'm getting compared at home. We get compared, no? Why don't you score marks like your friend? Your neighbor, somebody scored well, what about you? Don't underestimate yourself. Somebody keeps telling you you're not intelligent, doesn't make you you're not intelligent. You are who you are. When it comes to studies, when it comes to exams, people have their anxiety, which they're putting it on you. They don't know what is going to happen, so they're making you feel scared. Why are you taking that additional burden? You do your best. We'll see what happens. All your life you have given exams. Even before you knew what an exam is, you have given exam. Do you realize that? LKG, UKG, did you know what exams were? But you had exams, no? You passed it, right? Now you know what exams are, you will do better. Isn't it? Yeah? So I want you to keep this in mind that whatever it is that you're going through, your anxiety, you're not the only unique person going through that. A lot of us have gone through it. We have come out of it. You're going through it. You will come out of it. You need to keep telling yourself this. What I'm saying is, we are scared of the exam per se. We are not scared of life. You're understanding my point. You're scared because there is a paper. You have to answer that paper in 2 hours or 3 hours, and that will decide your life. Isn't it? You already know this. You're already well prepared. How do I explain this to you? Let's say you're walking on this particular path. Correct? And as you're walking, one person comes and keeps 2 chairs in the way. What do? You fall on the chair. You go around it. Next time when you're walking back, the chairs are still there. What do? You, as it is, maneuver it. This is the power of your mind. When you know there is a problem, when you know there is an obstacle, it has the inbuilt mechanism to work with it. You don't need to consciously put effort. The same road that you take to reach here or to walk to your campus, there are certain stones that this on the way. Effectively, you will go around it. Nobody will fall on the same stone in the same pit, isn't it? Once you see, you're aware. Awareness is important. That is what I said. These are small laws or aspects on which the brain functions. When you become aware of something, if you think that this is important, it will remain important. So, if you want to do well in your exams, you want to do much better than what you did last time, few changes you will need to make. First, stop telling yourself it's very important. You know it's important. You're not stupid. Right? Allow the mechanism to happen. You study. From your side, you give your 100%. Your body will give 100% and you'll see results. You need to understand you cannot excel in everything in the same way. You will be a little better in certain things. Right? So it's like when somebody loves you a lot, they want the best for you, isn't it? Your best friend's birthday, you will give some random gift? No, you put so much of effort, isn't it? Parents are also like that. Parents and teachers love you a lot. Their way of showing it is very different, that's all. Okay, so they love you a lot, they want you to have the best. They believe that getting best marks will give you the best life. That's why they push you. So know that this person likes you, and it's okay. If they say 1 or 2 things, it's all right. You need to know that you have given your 100%. Right? Not everybody can be first ranker. We all have our own limits. But as long as you have given your 100%, you don't need to worry. If you have an early morning class, your mind decides it has to go to class. That's why you get out of bed. Otherwise, nobody will get out of bed. They will happily snuggle and sleep. Isn't it? That's what I meant. You decide, as in mentally, willpower-wise you decide, your body will follow. So, to be successful, there are a few skills that is required. So, give me your idea of how much percentage of people in the world are successful. 2.4% of the world is considered to be successful. Successful in all areas of life. How do you do that? Is it possible? Yes. There are a few skills. These skills are called as soft skills and life skills, where you learn how to communicate properly. You learn how to work with your anger. 1 or 2 demo kind of a thing I gave you today, right? About anger, about stress. So different aspects, different kind of experiences we go through. Certain skills we will learn to help us deal with that experience, right? So those of them who have learned these skills and they're using it effectively, they're able to excel in all aspects of life. As in career-wise, they're doing well. Money-wise, they're doing well. Personal life is good. Friends, social life is good. That's what we want, right? So all-round success requires skills, and these skills are called as soft skills and life skills. Success is different for different people. What I meant was consistent success, and success in all areas, not just feeling-wise, but materialistically as well. That is what I meant. But that's a brilliant ideology, and I believe it as well. How can you become a role model? Very simple. There are different aspects. You all know IQ is there, intelligence quotient. We have something called EQ, emotional quotient, SQ, spiritual quotient, like that, different aspects. When you start doing very well in all these aspects, Okay, so when you start learning different kinds of skills, when you start implementing them, you start getting the all-round development. Automatically, you become visible to a lot of people. They will start taking you as a role model. How you become a role model is you work on yourself, right? You become the best version of yourself. Then others will want to be inspired by you. So never stop yourself from getting an experience. If you can get an experience, get a new learning, please go ahead with it. Do you know the famous example of the guy who made Windows? What's his name? Sure? Second richest person in the world? Bill Gates? Third richest person now, yes. Yeah. So when he was in college, he was hungry for experience. Right? So there was this calligraphy course that was running in the college. Calligraphy has got nothing to do with computers, with mathematics or engineering. Correct? But he still took up the course because he wanted to get an experience. Because he took up the course and he understood how strokes are made. You know, calligraphy is a very beautiful way of writing. It's a set of strokes. Because he understood that mechanism, today in Windows we have more than 20 types of fonts. What your experience will contribute, you will not understand at that time. If you're interested in something, if you get an opportunity, please go experience it. Not a problem. Good experiences. Huh? Don't say, ma'am said, take an opportunity. I will go do what I want. Yeah? So if you get a chance to try, to push your boundaries, to see what you're interested in, pick it up. Any profession or career you choose, you're going to be doing it all your life. Remember that. You're waking, sleeping in that profession. So it should be a profession that makes you feel nice, that makes you feel happy. If you enjoy building something, you should choose that as your profession. So this is the time where you sit and think, what is it that makes me happy? If there is something that I can do all my life without complaining, without thinking, oh my God, I have to go to work now, without that thought coming into your mind, that is the career for you. I realize that I enjoy interacting with people, listening to them. I'm not the person who will give you solutions, but I would love to hear what you have to say. That would give me a lot of happiness. So when I saw how I can try and make this a profession, that's when I discovered there is something called psychology. Psychology is understanding how a human being thinks, why they think that way, and if they are having issues, how we can work. So your core is working with people who are having problems. If that is something you feel you can do, then you can pick up psychology. So, thank you so much for being such a wonderful and interactive team. And we really hope to see and meet you again soon. And thank you to the management as well for giving us this opportunity. And thank you so much for having me. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing amazing solutions with our children. I hope we'll be enlightened with the information you gave us. Now I would call upon our principal, ma'am, to address the gathering.
Good afternoon to all present here. And let's hear how much you understood or how much interested or how effective this session was with your ovation. So the sound of your clapping will tell me how effective the session was. So can I hear it? Thank you. So I think this was an amazing session, especially at this point of time when we've just come out of a lockout and when we are kind of grappling with what is this thing which is happening around the world and how is life going to be. So I think today's session, Dr. Anisha, I think it was very effective in the sense that you kept stressing again and again when the children were asking questions, live in the moment. Okay? We do not have the next minute in our hand. Next minute is not available for us, but this minute is available for us. Let us be very happy. So just as for growing, we need food to eat. This session today is food for thought. So we can actually think about the things that were discussed today. The questions that came out from your end was expressing the deep-rooted thing that every child has gone through. Please go back home and ask your dad and mom who today have put the terror face on their faces and they're trying to traumatize you, telling you have to do this, you have to do that. Go back to them and ask them, when you were an adolescent like me, did you do all this to your grandparents that I'm doing to you? And they will say yes. Okay? They might not admit it wholeheartedly, but they have done the same thing. And where you are standing, millions of people before you have stood, millions of people after you will stand. Do you understand? So the first thing that you should understand is all of us are part of the same creation. Every plant is important. Every animal is important. If you have that love inside you, you will be able to deal with any situation which comes in front of you. There's no situation on this earth which someone has not faced before. And you can be the person who's going to show the path to the others to follow by setting the right example, by feeling from the depth of your heart that this person who's angry with me has got some issue which is upsetting them. That's why they are angry with me. Okay, and just as Dr. Anisha was telling, if your parents are going to be very strict with you, it's because they love you so much and they expect so much from you. Your teachers, the strictest teacher is the person who loves you the most. The strictest teacher might not know how to smile. But after 10 years, if you're going to come back into this campus and tell, ma'am, I've achieved this, okay, you should see her eyes at that time. She'll be teary-eyed and she'll be so happy for you at that moment. So be that kind of a person who will create a difference in the mind of other people through your actions. So even if another person is angry with you, you do not react. You respond with love. So we are all normal human beings. We will make mistakes. We will meet failure. But how we overcome that and we stand as an example for others, that counts. Be happy always. That's the main thing. Even in your anger, be happy. Even in your jealousiness, be happy. How can you be happy like that? By loving yourself and loving each other equally. All the very best for a wonderful future, and thank you so much. Baselmind has come here and has now added a new flavor in our minds, especially the young minds over here, and hopefully that will be carried out into the world. Thank you so much.
Now we request our director Padma Subramaniam ma'am to come and share her views on the session.
So I think this was a beautiful morning, a very useful morning after we reopened after a long gap of lockdown, I would say. And I would like to thank Dr. Anisha for such a beautiful, mind opening. You always deal with minds. Psychology is a subject, as I was sharing with you. It is a beautiful subject which everybody is interested in. Because how to understand people, it is not to read the other's minds. It's not the thing. You understand people with the talk therapy. Am I correct? It is the talk therapy that makes the difference over here. Thank you so much, Dr. Anisha. And I would like all of you to stand up and give a big round of applause to the whole of the Baselmind team over here, because this is a kind of new initiative taken up by Baselmind team to work with the mental health. We have people working with our physical health, but we have a group here in Nellore now working with the mental health, which is very, very important. Thank you so much to the wonderful team over here. You've really done a good job. And I would also take this opportunity to introduce Dr. Subbaram. He is the chairman of the Baselmind team, who is also a psychiatrist by profession. Thank you so much, sir, for having such a beautiful program organized for us. Thank you. Thank you so much.